Isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa nanonood sa RH TV. Lalo na sa mga kasamahan nating alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Taong 2007, nang makasama natin dito mismo sa Art2art ang tanyag na eskultor at pambansang alagad ng sining na si Profesor Napoleon Abueva. Tandang-tanda ko pa nang sabihin niya sa atin na ang katawan ng isang eskultor ay dapat kasing tibay ng boksingero, karpintero, weightlifter at mason. Dahil ang paglilok ng malalaking pyesa ay nangangailangan ng di pangkaraniwang lakas at resistensya. Nakilala si Profesor Abueva bilang Father of Philippine Modern Sculpture at hindi na mabilang ang kanyang mga kontribusyon sa pagpapaunlad ng eskultura sa ating bansa sa nakalipas na 60 taon. Nagluksa ang buong bansa nang pumanaw siya dala ng pneumonia noon lamang buwan ng Pebrero. Sa kanyang paglisan, hindi lamang mga obra sa kahoy, marmol at bakal ang naiwan ni Abueva, kung hindi pati na rin mga nakababatang visual artists na naging estudyante niya o yung mga nabigyang inspirasyon ng kanyang magandang ehemplo bilang alagad ng sining. Kaya't sa hapong ito, samahan ninyo kaming magpugay sa dakilang pambansang alagad ng sining para sa sining biswal na si Profesor Napoleon V. Abueva. Huwag kayong aalis, magbabalik ang Art2art matapos ang ilang paalala.
Isinilang noong Enero 26, 1930 sa Tagbilaran, Bohol, si Napoleon Abueva ang pang-apat na anak ni na dating Congressman Teodoro Abueva at Purificacion Veloso. Nagsimulang umusbong ang talento niya sa eskultura sa murang edad na 16 nang makapagtrabaho sa isang malaking pagawaan ng mga eskulturang pang-altar, ang Fidel Araneta Sculptural Works sa Cebu, sa pamamagitan ng Pura Villanueva Calao Scholarship. Nakapagtapos si Abueva ng Bachelor of Fine Arts in Sculpture mula sa University of the Philippines School of Fine Arts noong 1953. Bilang estudyante, 3 beses siyang nagwagi sa Art Association of the Philippines annual competition na naging dahilan upang mapansin siya ng bantog na eskultor na si Guillermo Tolentino, ang unang national artist for sculpture na siyang gumawa ng tanyag na UP Oblation. Nagtapos si Abueva ng Master of Fine Arts sa Cranbrook Academy of Arts sa Michigan bilang Fulbright Scholar noong 1955. Taong 1978 nang maging dekano siya ng UP College of Fine Arts na pinamunuan niya sa loob ng 11 taon. Noong 1993, binigyan siya ng Honorary Doctorate in Humanities ng nasabing pamantasan at ginawaran naman ng titulong Professor Emeritus noong 2003. Taong 1976 nang itanghal si Abueva bilang pambansang alagad ng sining ng Pilipinas. Sa edad na 46 na taong gulang lamang, siya ang pinakabatang alagad ng sining na nabigyan ng parangal na ito. Kabilang din sa mga gantimpalang natanggap ni Napoleon Abueva ang 10 Outstanding Young Men at Republic Cultural Heritage Awards noong 1959. Ang 1966 Cultural Heritage Award, ang Gawad CCP para sa sining noong 1976, ang 1987 ASEAN Awards for the Visual Arts at ang 1995 4th ASEAN Achievement Award for Visual Arts. Sumakabilang buhay si Professor Abueva noong ika-18 ng Pebrero ng taong kasalukuyan sa edad na 88. Ginawaran siya ng isang necrological ceremony sa Cultural Center of the Philippines na dinaluhan ng mga kapwa pambansang alagad ng sining na pawang nagbigay pugay sa dakilang eskultor. Sumasaludo ang Art2art sa National Artist Napoleon Veloso Abueva.
Kasama po natin para balikan ang mga naiwang alaala ni National Artist Napoleon Abueva, ang Assistant Director ng National Museum of the Philippines na si Dr. Ana Labrador at ang premyadong visual artist na si Toym Imao. Ana, Toym, welcome back to Art2art.
Maraming salamat. Gusto namin na nag-guest dito kasi talagang parang nasa bahay kami. Pwede magkwentuhan.
Kwentuhan eh.
Gusto din namin kayong i-guest. Okay. Well, I guess let's focus on your first encounter. Kailan nyo unang nakilala si national artist Billy Abueva, and how has this relationship been nurtured over the years?
Ako actually, ang encounter ko sa kanya, yung mga obra niya. Bata pa lang ako noon kasi nanay ko teacher sa UP. Tapos pagpasok namin ng University Avenue, andun na yung mga sculptures niya na functional. Yung waiting shed, no? Tapos mamaya nadagdagan yon ng mga adobe na monuments, no? So, tapos pagpasok mo naman dun sa chapel, UP Chapel, kita mo yung cruise, no? Ng risen Christ, tapos sa kabila yung suffering, the dead Christ. Tapos sabi ko, sinong gumagawa ng ganito? No? So, nang later on, nang naging estudyante na ako sa UP, doon ko siya mas nakilala, yung mga very playful ba niya, na halimbawa merong kasing lantern parade, no? So may mga floats. Tapos yung kanyang pagbibiro ba yung, di ba yung saying na the cart before the horse, tinutuon niya yun. Nakita namin. Sabi ko, ibang klase.
Ginawa niya talaga.
Palabiro nga siya.
Talagang larger than life.
Yes. Ikaw naman, Ton.
Well, kasi parang bata rin pa lang ako, nakagisnan ko na siya because he is a very, very close family friend. He was literally the artist who helped my dad during yung nag-aaral pa lang siya hanggang the first steps he made as a professional visual artist. Kasi si Tito Billy, we fondly call him Tito Billy, was the professor of my dad together with Guillermo Tolentino at Anastasio Caido nung nasa UP siya. Kaya kumbaga, parang sa family, I consider one of my two surrogate lolos because my lolos died very, very, I was very, very young. Yung isa, hindi ko na talaga kinagisnan. So, besides Billy Abueva, there was Alejandro Roses. And growing up with these people na kung ako'y tambay dun sa library ni Alejandro Roses, tambay naman ako sa studio ni Napoleon Abueva because and it was always a source of fascination as a child because di ba mahilig ka, it was an analog period at that time. Everything was made by hand. Wala pa yung mga digital and other technologies. And to see something like this, more than an artist, he was an inventor. He was tinkering on a lot. I mean, he has a Ferris wheel in his studio na naroon yung mga paintings. The reverse cart.
Yes,
and a lot more. He has a chariot. He has this car that runs with friction. Yung parang laruan na friction na ganon. So it was, for me, it was a wonderland as a kid. It was a creative playground. Kaya yun ang natatandaan ko sa kanya. Besides the artist, I would have to agree with Ana. He's a very playful individual when it comes to approaching his creative endeavors.
Masayang masaya.
Okay, so how would you characterize an Abueva sculpture? Ano ang trademark o estilo ni national artist Billy Abueva?
Sa palagay ko, bilang isang art historian din at nagtatrabaho sa museo, yun nga yung nakakatuwa sa kanya, hindi mo siya ma-stereotype. Hindi siya malagay sa isang, yung kumbaga sinasabi nila, isang peg or isang cubhole or because he's always experimenting. He always has these ideas, no, na naalala kong nagsulat ako ng isang article sa Philippine Star noong 2002 kasi gusto niyang ikwento yung ginagawa niyang chapel para sa Southwestern University sa Cebu na bubukas daw sa heavens, yung mga gano'n na klase. Tapos ikot kami dun sa studio niya, pinapakita niya ang daming mga works in progress. So siguro ang pinaka-characteristic niya, hindi mo siya talaga mailagay sa isang kategorya.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't make art objects. He creates more of like art experiences. The objects being just a tool in which for you to experience a certain kind of message probably or concept na gusto niyang ipahatid. Kaya it's a total environment. That's why yung mga sculpture niya is something na hindi parang sabihin mo lang na, of course he does gallery pieces, but a big bulk of it are things that you can directly interact. Chairs, swings, mga duyan. Maraming duyan siya na versions. And a combination of both functional and non-functional art. Kaya yun nga, hindi mo siya maikakahon talaga.
Pero is it because parang yung kanyang personality nga ay para siyang bata, no? Very childlike, very creative, 'di ba? Sabi nga ang bata is hindi nababawasan ng imahinasyon at ng creativity, no? Dahil nga pala biro nga siya, no? Yung kanyang personality, very light, very playful.
Kaya nung parang nung sinabi nga na parang you have a very jovial character, it makes me think that he might have, nung bata pa ako na napakasaya siguro ng kabataan ito. Pero I found out that it was a very tragic during childhood niya.
Can you tell us that story?
Well, kasi in World War II, he was a teenager, very young boy. I mean, just fresh out from puberty probably. When the Japanese invaded Bohol. Tapos, to cut a long story short, their parents were very active in the community. Then the Japanese captured and eventually executed them. When they were captured, the entire family was incarcerated, and he suffered torture under the Japanese, which is parang a childhood robbed at that time. Pero nakakatuwa rito is that despite this very harrowing experience, this sense of loss and emptiness, he went on to image the beauty of what our country has to offer. And that's a very good testament of how resilient, how siguro yung way na niya na, because he was probably sa akin, personal view ko lang na parang he was robbed of that chance for a childhood, a very normal childhood during the occupation years. Ngayon, when he had the chance, he just played with these fantastic objects that he created.
Parang walang bitterness talaga. So, amazing.
Okay. And naging guest nga namin si national artist Napoleon Abueva in Art2art mga almost 11 years ago, dahil siya yung halos unang naming guest, when we started. And ang napansin nga, katulad ng nasabi ko, is in the introduction was very famous quote niya doon is kailangan talaga very physically fit ang isang sculptor para gumawa ng mga obra, dahil kailangan malakas ang katawan mo para gumamit ng bakal, maglilok ng kahoy. But at that time medyo sickly na siya. Pero at the same time, sabi niya wala siyang planong magretiro, magiging very productive pa siya. So meron bang siyang mga naiwang mga unfinished works ng alam natin?
Most likely. Pumunta lang sa studio niya, ang daming mga work in progress pa rin. Hindi siya talaga tumitigil, di ba? Patuloy talaga siya ng
You actually interviewed me just like a year or 2 years before he actually suffered a stroke. At that time, during that period, I believe that he was also like in the he was working with soon to be national artist Ildefonso. Naging national artist na yan, IP Santos, on a sculpture park besides the College of Fine Arts. And when he suffered the stroke, actually, nagtatrabaho siya nung time na yun, nagbubuhat siya. Oo.
Wow.
Kaya marami rin siyang naiwan na mga visionary works na makikita mo yan nasa mga left unfinished na sa UP pa, UP grounds. Pero one thing, during the first year, pag binisita mo siya when he suffered the stroke, isang napaka, parang makikita mo yung spirit niya was unbroken. It's because when you visit him doon sa bahay niya, nakahiga siya, pero may katabi siyang kahoy dito. And ang ginagawa niyang self-therapy was to carve the wood. He was still struggling para sa kanya, para mas may exercise niya yung kanyang mga limbs at that time.
He was such a fighter. I mean, to the very end, he, when before he died, he suffered a stroke, and that, siyempre fina-follow up namin what's happening to him, and then sabi, pwede na siyang lumabas sa ICU, no? So we were so happy, but then he had another stroke, and then talaga nag-wear down yung kanyang resistance, but
Yes.
fighter all the way.
Well, fighter
10
talaga.
years. 10 years he fought.
Yes.
10 years.
Well, he was only 46 nung siya'y nahirang na national artist.
Yes.
In fact, siya ba ang pinakabatang national artist na, hinirang na national artist. Ano ang basihan ng kanyang maagang pag-angat sa hanay na ito?
Very controversial nga.
Oh,
no?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, because he was so productive. He was
It was really yung body of work.
body
no?
of work already at
Yeah.
that age.
Grabe ang the volume. You can visit his house at that time. It was like brimming, yung mga overflowing yung mga works niya. And I think the bottom line was also to send a message at that time that we were also that was the modernist period. He was ushering in an age of a kind of aesthetics na ini-inspire yung mga younger artists at that time. Before him was Guillermo Tolentino, who was declared national a few years after. He was that. It was a form of a statement that the state pays homage to both the classical and the more modern artists na kinikilala yon. And at that time, he was at the forefront. He was not only active as a personal artist, but he was very much entrenched in organizations in which most artists were a member of. Kaya malaking bagay, I think, ito sa recognition of his efforts.
Oo, true. And you said volume of work. Roughly, do you have a rough estimate on how many works
Kasi
does he
meron
have?
pa siyang mga studio like sa UP. Remember yung sa likod ng Vargas Museum?
Naroon
Malaki
pa.
siyang studio, tapos meron din sa Bohol, meron din sa Davao, no? So we really don't know. That's why as being part of the National Museum, we volunteered to actually do an documentation. No? Kailangan talaga merong
Which of course
na talaga.
is going to take years, I think, to accomplish.
It will be one of our main projects kasi we really need to create one.
Okay.
Ang masarap
Aabangan
lang
natin yan.
Kasi sinasabi din daw ng family niya, katulad ni Dr. Cher, yung wife niya, at saka yung anak niya si Amihan, sabi, nagugulat na lang daw siya na meron palang mga works na pinamigay niya.
Magaling siya magregalo. Pag naawitan
So
siya.
nagugulat na lang.
Very generous heart.
Okay.
Very
Well,
generous
that's
heart.
the spirit talaga. Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa artistic legacy ni national artist Napoleon Abueva. Dito pa rin sa Art2art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa teatro, ipinahayag ng theater producer na si Cameron McIntosh na magkakaroon muli ng audition sa Manila para sa gaganap ng papel na Kim at the Engineer sa panibagong global productions ng international hit musical Miss Saigon. Isasagawa ang auditions May 4 at May 5 sa Opera House No. 3657 Bautista Street, Makati City. Ang mga interesadong aplikante ay kailangang may malakas na singing voice at bihasa sa English language. Kailangan ding maghanda ng 16 bars mula sa isang awit sa Miss Saigon. Para sa kumpletong detalye, mag-email casting@atlantistheatrical.com. Sa sining visual, inihahandog ng GSIS Museo ng Sining ang Narrative of Color. isang watercolor exhibit kung saan tampok ang mga obra ng mga kasapi ng International Watercolor Society Philippines at ng Philippine Guild of Watercolorists. Nagbukas April 14, ang exhibit ay makikita hanggang May 19. Ang GSIS Museo ng Sining ay matatagpuan GSIS Main Building, Diosdado Macapagal Boulevard, Pasay City. Patuloy pa ring makikita ang anniversary exhibit ng Saturday Group na pinamagatang Saturday Group Gold, celebrating 50 years in art hanggang May 6 sa Bulwagang Juan Luna ng Cultural Center of the Philippines. Tampok ang mga obra ng mahigit sa 100 artists na naging bahagi ng samahang ito na binuo noong 1968. Ang CCP ay matatagpuan sa Rojas Boulevard, Pasay City. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa Visual Arts and Museum Division 832-3702 or mag-email ccp.exhibits@gmail.com.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin para balikan ang mga ginintuang alaala ni National Artist Napoleon Abueva, sina Assistant Director Ana Labrador ng Pambansang Museo ng Pilipinas at ang multi-awarded visual artist na si Toym Imao. Okay, personal favorites ni Nap Abueva?
Sa mga ginawa niya, may nagregalo sa amin sa National Museum na isang batang kolektor, no? At ito yung Kiss of Judas na work niya nung estudyante siya sa Michigan. At linilok niya to mula sa oak. So talagang hindi galing dito sa Pilipinas yon. Tapos, napakaganda talaga nito.
Dilal niya sa maleta niya?
Binalik niya. Tapos itong kolektor, binili niya sa isang auction. Tapos natuwa nga siya sa pag-maintain namin ng mga collections ni National Artist Abueva. So sabi niya, bibigay ko na itong aking nabili sa isang auction. So nakakatuwa, no? Kaya talagang pag nakikita ko, ang dami kasing kwento. Kumbaga, yun yung maganda naman na meron kaming collection sa museum. Pwedeng talagang gawan mo ng kwento kasi napakayaman, no? Pinagmulan. In fact, inano niya yung kinas niya yun. Nung una kala namin nga, may dumi yung baka kinakain ng isang insekto. Yung pala kinas na niya na bago niya later on na somehow wala na sa kanya. So meron siya laging alaala sa mga ginagawa niya.
Okay. Toym, what about you? Any personal favorite?
For me, I saw this work the first time I was in high school. Yung kanyang rose gun. Gustong-gusto ko yun. Kasi isang baril siya na meron siyang goma in which shoots out roses. For me, para sa akin, it's a portrait of himself. You know, it's really, I know na sobrang dami mo nang natanggap na mga rosas. Sa kanya.
Lagi nagbibigay ng roses.
Tuwing meetings, may meeting siya sa NCCA or any other institution, opening ng exhibit, some talks, and he would always bring a bunch of roses and would give it to the ladies inside the room. He was such a caballero. And for me, that rose gun, aside from being a portrait of him, napakalakas ng visual metaphors nun para sa akin. And it's for me, it just stayed. It has become one of those iconic sculptures in my mind as an inspiration whenever I do work, a paradigm of design for me.
Pero alam mo, Toym, Lisa, nag-guilty ako. Later on, nalaman ko, yung roses pa lang yun, galing sa garden ng asawa niya. Ni Dr. Asher. Na kinakalbo niya para pamigay. Kasi very avid na gardener si Dr. Asher. No?
Okay.
So, parang na-guilty ako later.
Lalo na kasi they have all this wide open space sa
Siguro
gilid.
naman pinahintulutan.
Sana.
Nakalbo.
Okay. Pero nabanggit mo kanina, Ana, yung mga ibang mga obra niya na nakadisplay sa mga public places
Yes.
like UP,
Yes.
no? Meron pa bang mga ibang obra si Professor Abueva na makikita natin sa mga ibang pampublikang lugar?
Meron yung, hindi, semi-public, no? Yung like sa Holy Cross. Di ba yung,
Yes.
yung Risen Christ,
Risen
no?
Christ.
Yung sa mga ganon na. Tapos, yung actually sa mga public parks na ilan, sa UP, dito rin sa Luneta, yung mga slides, gawa niya yun. Sa mga
Hindi alam ng
playgrounds.
marami.
Oo.
Hindi ko alam yun. Okay. Aha.
Gawa niya yan.
Gawa.
So may mga functional na,
ano siya.
very playful din ng mga slides, yung parang version niya ng jungle gym made of concrete. No? At isa siya din sa mga modernist na sculptors na talaga nag-experiment with concrete. No? Yung mga ganun, pati yung pag-finish niya. No? So he worked very closely also with contractors para mapilit ba sila na magkaroon ng mga public areas in which he can also display
Teka, sa
that.
kanya ba yung parang shoe house dun sa playground, dun sa Rizal
I
Park?
don't think that's
Hindi
no,
na.
more on the other slides na medyo sculptural, alien-looking type of...
Parang biomorphic.
Naglaro ako dun eh.
Exactly.
Naglaro ako dun.
Oo, yung mga ganon.
Okay.
So, yan ang magandang part naman ng kanyang mga public sculptures. So,
Yeah, and if you visit like several churches, including memorial parks, dalawa lang nang nagko-compete niyan eh. Nung time na yan, 1970s and 80s. You either see an Abueva or an Eduardo Castrillo inside, if it's modernist yung approaches niya.
Okay. Is it possible na i-forge ang isang Abueva, ang isang work of, ang isang sculpture work? Is it possible to forge something like
Yeah,
that?
I mean,
I mean, naging biktima din ba si Billy Abueva of forgery?
I remember when I was with the Art Association of the Philippines, I remember that it was Ramon Orlina who helped him na identify certain na nagpo-forge. Pinupuntahan nila at sinisira nila yung mga molde, lalo na. It's the small works naman ang fino-forge. It's not the big ones. So like multiple copies. And there are several cases na na-identify naman nila, and they deal, they do deal with it. I don't know how far legally, pero I was aware that there were several, especially the religious works. Na,
Okay.
kasi yun ang mabenta.
Madali siyang ibenta.
Mobile.
So, in your personal opinion, ano ba ang pinakamalaking kontribusyon ni Nap Abueva, National Artist Billy Abueva, sa pagsulong ng sining at kultura dito sa ating bansa?
Gusto mo ba sagutin
Well,
yun?
ako siguro, I'm more of like, ang approach ko is more of yung pagiging estudyante as an educator. He's definitely the one who laid the groundworks on a lot of systems within the College of Fine Arts sa UP, being a dean for several years.
Curriculum.
Curriculum-wise. And it's actually, ang biggest legacy niya para sa akin is something that's not even written. It's this sense of generosity as an artist. Ang estudyante, ang dami niyang inadapt ng mga estudyante nung time na yon, ever since nasa UP siya. And you have one of the more senior artists, right? Like Junyi, for example, lived with him for several years. A lot of accomplished artists owe their first steps professionally because of the help of Napoleon Abueva. And he continued that. I mean, magtatanong ka sa kanyang methodology, style, yung mga patina, other artists will be very secretive about it. He will teach you everything. Because for him, the competition is not on the craft and technology that involved in the sculpture, it's the design. And the more robust and rich yung cultural landscape, artistic landscape natin, the better for the country.
That's right.
Very generous.
Yes.
Very generous talaga. Tapos sa amin naman yung legacy talaga niya ng lahat ng mga obra niya. Talagang outstanding. No? So sa National Museum, bukod sa meron kaming bagong gallery na dedicated to his works, the ones that we have at the museum na may kakabukas lang namin. Actually, nung bago siya mamatay, yun na yung inaasikaso namin with the family. No? Tapos nakakatuwa nga kasi nga may mga, ang dami niyang ginawa at nandun sa museum, pero ang napapansin palagi ng mga batang visitors, yung mga door handles namin sa National Museum of Fine Arts, na kasi daw yun daw ang pwedeng hawakan. Nahawakan nila
You
at
can touch the
pinipicture.
art.
Yes.
So yun nga yung sa pagka-functional ng mga works niya, nakakatulong. Pero meron din kaming gagawin na importanteng gallery dedicated to him dun sa bago naming facility sa Tagbilaran. Yung dati kasing Kapitolyo, kinonvert na namin ito na National Museum for Bohol. And so a substantial part of that will be dedicated to him because he comes from Bohol. Para naman yung mga taga Bohol ma-realize nila na, you know, from that island, there's this giant who came out, no?
Yes.
Tapos yung gagawin din namin, i-declare namin yung Mount Samat kasi meron siyang monument there as our first national cultural treasure na gawa ni national artist Abueva. So, yun ang talagang gusto naming ipakilala. At yun nga, yung pagdodocument ng lahat ng mga obra niya. So, I'm sure...
Which is a considerable task.
Gargantuan.
Yes. Pero mabuti naman na madaming plano talaga na, you know, pagtibayin pa ang kanyang legacy, no? At syempre, hindi natin siya malilimutan talaga. Well, maraming salamat, Ana, Toym, na, you know, pagbisita ninyo dito sa aming programa, and of course, pagbibigay pugay at maalala ang napakalaking kontribusyon ni national artist na Abueva.
Mga artist talaga yung nagpapayaman sa yung buhay natin. So, in fact, salamat din sa iyo dahil isa ka sa mga ganun talaga ang nangyayari sa amin, katulad si Toym din. Kaya kami naman sa National Museum, as facilitators, gustong-gusto namin na mas makilala pa yung mga likhang sining.
And as an artist naman, as a young artist rin, mga naging estudyante niya, we continue to honor him with the kinds of work that we do.
Yes.
I think it's important, ethically important that yung mga artist, ano rin nila, nagbabalik tanaw sila. They give honor to those who were very instrumental in influencing the kind of work they do. And we see that, you know, his name would often pop out in most of this, especially those dealing with installation or sculptural art. Kaya para sa atin, you know, pumanaw na siya, pero this is a time of remembering and we should continue on this narrative, yung pag-uusap natin ngayon about him.
Yes, so hindi natin siya malilimutan.
Yes.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.